On today's episode of Don't Blame Me, we are talking acronyms. What happens if you think you have ADHD? What should you do with that? Any tips to cope with that and deal with that? And what's our other acronym we're dealing with, Melissa?
PhD. Should I stay or should I go? I hate these people. That's all I got.
And then we also have an update on the Dead Bird saga. Do you remember it? It's okay. We'll explain. And yes, it's just as intriguing as it sounds.
Yeah, and we're also like in fun times, pop culture updates on our lives. We're talking about how I have dubbed myself the official face of the Los Angeles Sparks Fandom, and you'll see why. You can also just go to the Sparks Instagram, and then also
don't spoil it.
Then stick around.
They'll stick around.
I put it on my stories. You just didn't watch my stories.
Oh, I missed it. That's weird. I never miss your story.
I know. I noticed you didn't, so I was like, oh, this is going to be a good story.
Right. And I'm concerned, what was I doing that I missed your story? I don't think I've ever missed one of your stories.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's fine.
Okay.
And Meghan was out in her garden,
Mm-hmm.
and she got a lot done, and it looks really good. And she's also going to give us her weekly thoughts on Love Island.
Yep, I hold Melissa hostage while I tell her about the 2 TV shows she does not watch. It happens every summer.
And that's fine. It's
Yeah.
completely fine.
Yeah.
Meghan, if people want to participate in the show, how do they go about doing that?
You can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. You can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com, or you can fill out the form that is listed in the show notes. Whatever your preference. Do you like to hear the sound of your own voice? Do you want to use a voice disguise or be very mysterious? Or do you want to type it out? Either way, you can get all the info there.
All right, let's get into the episode.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
First up, hi, Meghan and Melissa. I am 28 and I just finished year 3 of 5 in my PhD program.
I didn't even know that there could be that many.
Well, I was about to ask. I don't know.
Are you an engineer?
I don't even know how many there's supposed to. I know it can be like an unlimited amount of years, but to me, this sounds like minimum it's 5 years, not like it's taking you 5 years to accomplish this. Wow. The problem is I hate it. Well, as we just discussed, it doesn't sound like we would be too fond of that either. I pushed through this far thinking that I'd grow to like the research and classes and find my footing, but I just haven't. I think about quitting all the time, and I think I'm finally at the point where I'm done. I just have no passion or interest for the subject anymore. The whole point of doing the program was to be set up job-wise in the end and have a financially stable career either in academia or industry. But now I don't even know if I push through and finish it if I would be up to doing either. But I also only have 2 years left. It feels wrong to quit something this big, especially because the issue isn't being able to complete it, it's just not wanting to. My heart is battling my pride and responsibility, and I would love y'all's advice. I'm also in a town I don't like, the department sucks, and there's been no real sense of community for me here because of how religious and conservative the university and town is. My body is just physically rejecting the idea of staying in the program, and I'm nauseous every time I have to work on any of it. Staying is more practical, but I'm sick of being miserable. Please help.
Ooh.
Damn, this is hard because despite the fact that I didn't finish college, you and I are big advocates for finishing college when you're already there.
Yeah, but in this case, this caller already has a degree, probably I'm sure has a master's too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're pretty stacked. And I am a person that does quit things.
Oh, I love quitting.
If I don't like them.
Yep.
I know I didn't get anywhere near as close or far as you, but like even just starting college, I started as a physics major and I was like, I can't be around these people. They are not my people. Switched to biology. Once I got to my senior year, I was pre-dental. My plan was to go to dental school. Got to my senior year, took a dental class, even though I had like worked in an orthodontist office, which I really enjoyed. Looking back, I probably just liked more the mechanics of orthodontics and not the actual doing the work. And so I quit. Well, I stopped being pre-dental my senior year and switched my focus to writing and things. So I get it. Like you only have 2 years left. You're through most of it. I'm curious though, like if you weren't in this town, would that be better? I don't think you can switch where you do your PhD. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
But if possible, is that something that you can do? It might also be like to the point where it's this very specific program that is only in certain areas and you can't do it other places. But if that's possible, Josie, write in. This is your area.
Our in-house PhD.
Right. But like, if you just like, you're looking forward and you're like, this is not what I want to do the rest of my life, I feel like you should quit, because then it's like not just to the point where you finish with your doctorate, but then you're in a career that you don't want to be in. And so I feel like it's easier and better for you mentally to quit now than to get this degree in 2 years and then be in a field that you don't actually want to be in, where you can pivot and maybe there's aspects of it from your master's and undergrad that you can focus on that and figure out what you actually want to do, even if it's not in this field.
I agree with everything, because my advice relies on like 2 factors. One is, like you said, if your community and like the area that you're doing this, like you are miserable, therefore everything there is going to make you miserable. Like it can without a doubt taint something that you previously loved, because of like the context around it, because of like the community surrounding it, because of like every other aspect of it. So it can make you hate something that you did once love. But like you said, like once you're out of that situation and circumstance, that love for that thing oftentimes will still be there, and that desire for that. So is it a matter of like pushing through 2 more years of being miserable? And if that is the case, I do wonder if there's like, doing something like on an online portion, or doing something like split your time, not with, what is it called? Not a fellowship. Is it? Is that for a PhD too though?
I think it's sometimes part of it or after it.
But like something along the lines of like, could you do something that takes you out of this small bubble that you hate that still pursues this education? Because again, I'm not sure if you can transfer or do anything like that. And, if that takes a little bit longer, how much did you love this thing to start? But then my second question is, which is a completely opposite advice, which is like, just quit, because there's no point to waste any more of your time, but also like your mental health. And that is, are all of the connections that you are making and the pursuing of this in this industry and like academia for this specific study, would that be in this community? Like, would you be here? Like, would it be like, oh, well, I've put all of my connections here, so going somewhere else to kind of like foster and get a job and do all of that kind of stuff, like that would be really hard. Because I think if that's the case, I think you're going to burn out of 2 years of doing this. And then if it is either you get a job where you're at that you fucking hate, or you have to like really put a lot of work in to get a job somewhere else, and you're not starting at the same footing you would be, I think you'll probably be pretty burned out by then to do that. So I would say that like there's nothing wrong with, maybe we reframe quitting. There's nothing wrong with deciding that you want to pursue another journey, like, or that this has served its purpose for you up until this point. And it's like, I'm actually like cool not doing this anymore. And that is much more common. Actually, I don't even know if it's more common, but in certain, like a lot of people go to law school, apply to law school, and then don't ever take the bar, don't ever start practicing law. A lot of people are pre-med and they never apply to med school. Like there's all of this kind of stuff. And I think in academia, there's something about those degrees, something about those achievements that to me, I could see that it's a little bit maybe not as common to get this far and leave. But I think you need to like the pride of it. Right now, your pride and your happiness are at war with each other. And you either need to make a compromise between the two of them, and your pride needs to be hurt like a little bit, and your happiness needs to take a little bit of a cut, but you can't sacrifice one entirely for the other. Because I think if it is totally going to hurt your pride and like in a way that you're like, well, now I don't know what to do, this is the only thing that I really loved, then I do think that you'd be screwing yourself over. I think there is like a compromise in it. And sometimes a compromise is literally just like, I'm taking like a 6-month break from this thing and I'm going to do like a work study. I'm going to do something that's like in this field that gets me out of here. And it might prolong the process of walking across that stage, getting that diploma for this specific degree, but it's something that's going to keep you sane in a field that you are more passionate about. But if you're like, I'm actually like, I don't think I'm that passionate about this, because kind of like what you said, like when you were in the other major and you're like, I can't be around these people. And it's like, oh, are these the people I'm going to have to be in? Are these my colleagues? Is this like the vibe, even if it's not these exact people? Then I think like, yeah, it is so okay to change your mind, not only once you have more knowledge, but once you have more like lived experience with something, to be like, oh, actually, either this is not who I thought I was and I don't fit in with this, or this thing is not what I thought it was. That's okay. Which I guess it's not a very definitive answer for telling you to quit or not.
But also, can you talk to like your professors? Can you talk to people and just maybe they've gone through this too, where they're like at this point where they're just burnt out, and ask them like, do they feel like it's worth it? If there's I feel like in a PhD program, you're close to your advisors and things. So like this could be a candid conversation. Reach out to other people in the field that maybe don't necessarily go at your institution, but like get on LinkedIn and ask other people just how they're feeling about this program as a whole.
And how much money would you make? Because that's like another, like school is...
Money's a strong motivator for me.
And it's also like, this shit's expensive. Like, unless like, I mean, a lot of people get their PhDs covered, like based on, I don't know, the
grants and things like
all that kind of stuff. But like, if it is going to cost you more money to do this and you are going to be making in return quite quickly, like, then I also think that like at that point, the sunk cost fallacy versus the monetary sunk cost fallacy, to me, I'm like, I would so much rather you abandon that and save your money than go through something that's like this expensive that you're miserable. I hate things that are like not fun and expensive. Like that's the worst combination. So I'm not planning a wedding. Like it's expensive and I would be miserable. Like, ew, it sounds horrible. So, yeah, I'm also curious what the exact, like, or the specific field of it is. Because, like, if you're talking about getting into academia for this specific thing, I do wonder if it's quite niche. And then you're thinking about, like, oh my God, all of the people I would be teaching would be, like, these insufferable losers that are my classmates, and I fucking hate them. And that would be hard. That would be incredibly hard. Also, I, again, don't know where you're at, but all of my knowledge of PhDs, it took people so long. Like they left and they had kids and then came back and like did all of that kind of stuff. So it's you. If I'm not wrong, if you decide to be done with this now in 5 years, if you change your mind, you can finish it, can't you?
I think it just depends on the program.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
if they have room for you in the program, if the program still exists,
or if you get to a point where like you just have to submit your dissertation. But I think happiness, like also you're 28. I don't think you've ever not been in school. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Josie, please write in. Give us your thoughts and opinions on this. Anybody else that is or has been through a PhD program, please let us know.
Do they call them PhDs in other countries?
I think so, because it's like
or just call it a doctorate.
Doctorate of philosophy.
Oh, okay. I wondered, because I was wondering if we needed to get country specific.
I don't know. Degree programs work different in different countries. In some countries, you can just like do your undergrad and you're considered a lawyer.
Wow. Remind me not to commit a crime there.
Yeah, this is one girl that I knew, which a lot of people in the entertainment industry that are producers, like the financial producers, have gone to law school and aren't practicing lawyers. But there was this girl when I was just working on student films, and she was from, I'm not even going to say because I don't even remember, but she was from not here. And she was in the MFA program, and she would always like make remarks about her being a lawyer. And I'm like, you're 23 years old. Are you like a child genius? I never asked her. But then I'd hear like people talking about her on this other project I was on there, talking about her behind her back because nobody liked her.
She sounds insufferable.
And they're like, and she's always talking about being a lawyer. Like, that's just how it works in her country. Like, she has an undergrad degree. She's not practicing law.
Yeah, that is weird. Mm-hmm. Very weird. Though, I mean, law school doesn't seem fun, but like,
no,
it seems, I don't want to speak out of turn. It seems like relatively necessary, the education, not like the cost or, whatever, but like education seems pretty necessary.
Yep. My cousin lived with us during her first year of going to law school, and then moved into an apartment after, but she was not happy throughout the whole process. But that's all she ever wanted, was to be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so she like worked hard at it and stuck it out, because she was miserable going through school.
It's like med school. It's like, it's absolute. It's like you have all of these big dreams, and then when you actually start the process, it's hell. And then you get out of that hell, and then you're like, oh, now I'm doing the thing that I like. But it's like, they really put you through the gauntlet and like make sure you really fucking want it, and you're going to take out all those loans. But yeah, one of Matz's friends from college, or two of his friends from college, but one of them, his wife, but at the time they were just like dating. Anytime we'd go to visit New York, I would hang out with him, and he'd be like, so sorry, like she can't come, like she's got school. And I was like, totally get it, that's fine. I truly don't think we met until her wedding, and she had like just graduated. She had like graduated right after. She goes, so happy I've heard so much about you. You're lovely. You're wonderful. You're great. And I'm like, and now we're close. But like literally up until then, I had just gotten to know her, like boyfriend to fiance to husband. And then it was like, oh, she's done. And now of like any time we're in like groups of people with that, like she's the person I talk to the most. And like she's got the time now because but God, yeah, it was like, oh no, she hasn't seen anyone in years. And I was like, yeah, it's tough. Especially like in a city like New York. I'd be like, that's the time where I go, okay, send me to Missoula or something.
Right.
We're going to take a break and we will be back.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix, Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
We're back. What's up with you? What's new?
You're looking at the face of the LA Sparks fandom.
Oh my God. In what way?
So I went to the game this past Sunday. White Ashley invited me to go. They're considered courtside, but it's like the row behind courtside. And so we had a good time. It was the 30th anniversary season game of the very first game. So it was the LA Sparks versus New York Liberty, which was what the very first game was.
Did you see Ellie?
That's what I was hoping for, but Ellie doesn't travel. But I was like, I feel like Ellie should be traveling for this game.
Whoa, Ellie without a doubt. I mean, I think Ellie's a girl of the world. She should be traveling in general, but she certainly should be traveling for this game.
Yes.
Well, that's a little disappointing.
I literally was like, is Big Ellie going to be there? But like the first teams on both sides were there. So they did they did a like ceremony at halftime. Lisa Leslie, who was there, and when I was growing up, story time. When I was growing up, I was like, I'm going to be the first woman in the NBA, and then the WNBA came along, and I was like, I'm going to be the first woman, or I'm going to be in the WNBA. because like Muggsy Bogues exists and he was 5'3" in the NBA. So
I was about to say, do you just clarify for the listeners how tall you are?
I'm 5'1", but Muggsy Bogues was 5'3" at the time, like during this time in the NBA. So that seemed very attainable for me.
Totally.
Yeah. My love for basketball just waned. But I was obsessed with Lisa Leslie. And so since we were like right there in the front, my goal was, as she's walking by, I will throw up my pinky because she's a member of my sorority. And so I was like, I'm going to get a picture. But she did pass by. I didn't see her till she was like almost right up on me. And she's like 6'5", first person to dunk in the WNBA. And so she didn't make eye contact. And I was like, damn. But Ashley had a really good picture just of her walking. I was like, this could be in a magazine. But then most of the game, until the third quarter, the Sparks were down by like 16 points.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, but they came back. And then in most of the fourth quarter, it was just going back and forth between the two teams. And the very last seconds of the game, Sparks are down by 1 point.
Ooh.
They had just reviewed a play where the ball was hit out of bounds, and folks were saying like it got tipped off one of the New York Liberty players. And in one angle, it definitely looked like it did it, but they kept replaying it, and then they switched to another camera angle. She didn't touch the ball. And like you could just hear the whole stadium just like die down, and they're like, damn, game's over. Because New York got the ball, but by some miracle, the Sparks get New York does not score on that position. Sparks get the ball back. Only a few seconds left on the clock, but it's just like quiet in the stadium. Woo! And I see this woman with a camera walking past, and she keeps looking at me, and I was like, she wants something.
Yeah,
she wants a moment.
She wants a performance.
So I put it on. I'm not the number one Sparks fan in the world.
But if they need you to be.
They need me to be in this moment. Yep. I'm an Aces fan. Sparks are number 3. They're the hometown team. Like, so I love them for LA. The Wings, Dallas Wings, where Paige and AZ and a whole bunch of people play. So I'm like, she wants something. So, I'm standing up. I'm like putting my hands together.
I'm going to hit a herky.
I am like thinking about when I was in 3rd grade, and for some reason, I don't even remember what the reason was, but the news crew came to my class, and I was like, the cameraman wants a moment.
So you and I are the same. Even as children.
We were working on like, I think an art project. So I took my art project and put it on the ground so I could look, and then they could have a full frame of me on the ground doing it. Nobody else did it. I knew what I was doing.
Exactly.
No shame. And what did they use on the news? That clip. Of course. Yeah. I'm making sure I'm not making eye contact with her because I knew people would do that in the moment. So Sparks get the ball, inbound it. Looks like one player's about to shoot. She shoots it out to another player. Like, you think they're going to go for the 2 for the tie to just tie it up to go into overtime. No, she shoots it out to somebody else that's at the 3-point line. Shoots, scores. Everything goes crazy. Whole crowd's going crazy. I'm still not looking at the camera woman, but I know she's on me.
Yep.
So after the game, me and Avia and another one of our friends, Teresa, are in this group. And Teresa was like, in our group chat, and Teresa was like, I was looking for you in the crowd, but I knew I wouldn't be able to see your short ass in the crowd. And I was like, 1, I'm in seats where you definitely can see me.
But people have seen us there before.
Right. Right. And 2, there was a camera woman on me. So their post, like all the games or all the sports networks, all the networks are posting video of it. And I can see the back of my head, and I can see like where I am. And I can see that camera woman is 100% on me because she's in all these. So like everything that's being posted, I can see that I'm there, and I'm like, where's this woman's camera? Then on Monday, I was getting a massage, and I then opened my phone because Coco was also there because she has season tickets, and she was like, I was texting her, I was like, I created this moment, and it's gonna be something.
It's going somewhere.
Yeah. and I told her like how I was playing into it and everything. And so I opened my phone after the massage, and I have like 45 text messages. And Coco's like, look on Instagram. My brother-in-law is like, did you go to the Sparks game? And I know he doesn't keep up with the WNBA, so he's just seen this some random place. I have so many messages, and I'm like, oh, This is it. This is it. Go to the Sparks page. If you scroll on the Sparks page, no other just like fan that isn't famous is on the page. I'm the only person on the whole page. So that's why I have dubbed myself as the face of the LA Sparks fans.
Melissa! Shut the fuck up. Literally, I scroll. Who the fuck do I see there? Oh my God.
And now I've been edited into so many, like on ESPN, on the women's ESPN, like it's making traction. I'm also in the like anniversary pic video that they made for the Sparks. So I'm like, gonna forever be part of history.
Oh my God. Well, okay, you need to promote them to maybe your second favorite team from this. That is amazing. Oh my God. I have to send this I'm sending this to Mods right now.
Yeah, things keep popping up. But literally, there's no other. If you scroll on their page, there's no other. You only see players and famous people that are courtside. Nobody else.
And like you're the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
on the
what I'm saying.
Yeah, like,
I am the thumbnail.
You are the fucking thumbnail. Well, this top and hair combo also. Like you. I mean, if I'm a videographer, I'm like, let me get this hottie front and center. She's gonna look great in our feed. Mm-hmm. Wow, that is epic. Damn, I wish I was there.
Yeah, I invited you.
I know,
but y'all were gardening.
We were it was
very last minute. Ashley was like, I forgot that I had these tickets. Yeah. Do you know anybody that wants to go? And I'm like, the people that I know want to go are either already there or they're at the Dodgers game. Yeah. And Meghan doesn't do well with doing things at last minute.
Well, we were also just like, it was one of those things like Mats was like, he was running to like the hardware store to pick up something because we had run out of something as we were doing this, and I had called him, and I was immediately just gonna be like, oh, we can't, and without asking him, and I was like, I'll at least like tell him, but I was like my inclination is to say no because like we are in the middle of this. He goes, God, I would love to, but like if we don't finish this, I'm gonna go insane. And I was like, it's true. But we were building planter box covers, and we were so close to finishing it. And he was like, "I just don't want this. We have chicken wire
in
everywhere."
An hour, you would have had to shower and everything too. It would have been a lot to do.
But God, that's so cool.
Yeah. And Warren G was also performed just not at halftime, but later as well.
Huh.
And he did Regulators, which I feel like is his most famous song. And me and Sarah, when we would like road trip for her to drive her car back to Miami when she was in med school, that was our song for some reason. We'd just like rap it for hours on end as we were driving. I had just seen an old clip of him on Cadillac Chronicles where they drive around in the Cadillac singing songs like from the 90s and stuff. And so I had sent it to Sarah. And then when I saw he was going to be at the game, we were like, how is this so serendipitous now that we were talking about it and he is performing at the game?
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Wow. What an epic time you had.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for you. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
And the Sparks won.
So much fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good game. I wish they had more. I need to see if we have replays here on our TV. Well, it's hard to watch anything besides Love Island, but damn, I love watching them. I love watching women's sports.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. I told you that I only recently found out that the World Cup, when I saw The Voice playing, didn't know they played. And I was like, okay, name a single soccer player who's a man. No one can.
Messi. That's all I got.
No, who plays for America, Melissa?
Oh, no clue. You didn't say it.
Diamond's little brother.
America.
Diamond's little brother. That's the only one I know. And besides that, I can name so many Americans, but God, I love women's sports.
Me too. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we will get into some more advice and then hear about Meghan's weekend.
Want to elevate your travel experience? Here's how. With a Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card, you can relax before your flight in the Delta Sky Club with up to 15 visits per medallion year. And now through July 15th, 2026, you can earn up to 125,000 bonus miles, so you're closer to your next adventure. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Check out the new design at www.delta.com/Spotify. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
We're back.
All right. This person is 32, she, her. Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I'm looking for advice on potential ADHD. Just want to preface, we are not doctors. Looking back, I've always had symptoms, but it's been worse since returning to work after my son, almost 2 for reference, and it's affecting my performance. I keep making silly mistakes because I'm having so many issues focusing. I keep thinking it was just that I was getting back up to speed or lack of sleep, but I've been back a while and now I'm still having issues. And a few people have mentioned that I could have ADHD, so I looked it up. My main issue is I feel like I have ADHD imposter syndrome, if that's even a thing. I feel like I'm making excuses for why I'm struggling and I just need to try harder. I keep thinking, well, surely if I had ADHD, it would have been picked up earlier. I spoke to a doctor previously about this, and because I have a history of anxiety and depression, they said it could just be anxiety related, which I think is adding to me thinking I'm making this up. But I've been on anxiety medicine for 6 months now and still having issues. Even writing this, I feel like I needed to include a list of reasons why I think I might have ADHD, and then I deleted it for word count. I'm in the UK and it can take a couple of years to get diagnosed. And part of me feels like I'm just wasting everyone's time if I try to pursue it. Do you have any advice on how to deal with feeling like you're not ADHD enough to get help? And also any tips to help with concentration on tasks would be really helpful. Thank you.
I think my question to you is, what are you looking to get out of it? Because I think that the only real relevant question. I don't know what medication is like in the UK, but there are a lot of people who do not from a moral standpoint or whatever ever want to be on medication for ADHD. And if that's the case, I don't think you need to go through an entire diagnostic, years of diagnosing with something that you're not going to do anything with the diagnosis. Because you can go to therapy and be like, I think I have ADHD. I would love some help and tips with that. You don't need to have an ADHD diagnosis to work on it with talk therapy. But if you're looking for medication, then go through the diagnosis. Do it. If it feels like it's not worthwhile for you, or you feel like at a certain point that you're oh, this is all coming back. But I don't know how long, did you say how long ago you had your kid?
They're 2.
Almost 2.
So I would go with 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. It could be a multitude of things. That's the aspects of ADHD. It's they can be things like anxiety. And there's the idea though that if you had ADHD, someone would have caught it. I'm an incredibly rare anomaly of a woman who as a little girl, it was oh, this is abundantly clear. This is what she has. But the diagnostic criteria was written for boys. It was written for little boys and a very specific type of it. So there's a lot of people who have a kind of ADHD that I personally love that for them, cannot relate to, of super gifted, high achieving women in traditional academic fields, STEM fields, people who are really, really smart, and they're not jack of all trades, gig working, bouncing from thing to thing. I've always been very traditional and diagnostic, the base of that. But there are so many people who have other experiences, and it can be when they leave college, or when they have something that changes the structure of their lives, or they have a larger life moment where it becomes manageable until it's not. And that's kind of anything that you're oh, I was able to coast on whatever, just powering through masking, but now I'm burnt out or whatever, or my hormones, that really shifted everything. Things change. Some people also develop full-blown autoimmune disorders after having children.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that your body and the chemicals in your body and your brain are back to quote unquote normal at a certain point is all based on hypothesis. It's not the same for everyone or guaranteed. I think if the diagnosis itself will feel validating for you, then I think like, sure, go through with it. But I would ask yourself like what you are in fact like looking to do. Because like a lot of people don't want to take stimulants and a lot of people don't like how stimulants make them feel. And there's also things that are anxiety or antidepressant medication that is also can sometimes be used for people with ADHD as well. And like that's something to have a question with your doctor about something like that. But I think that like, I don't know, I kind of think of it the same way I think about like plastic surgery, in the sense of like, if you can't go a day without thinking about this, and this is like, you can't, it is without a doubt, like if there's a meal that is served that is your mind for the day, and every single day it's there, it's on the plate every single fucking day, like you have to address it. You have to address whether this is like an insecurity of something you need to deal with, this is something that you want to change about yourself, something that you want to fix, this is something that you want to get rid of in your life, or this is something that you need to tackle. Because if it's not getting smaller, it's not going away, then like all you're going to do is continue to stew on over it. And it sounds like you're looking for an answer. But also at the same time, like what if the answer is not that? Like if you put all of your eggs in one basket for something like that, I think that the best course of action in general is a diagnosis is great if you're open to getting medical treatment, medication for it, but simultaneously you also might not end up liking that, and therapy and something that can help you with that. I don't have the best tips on like, how to concentrate and how to focus and do things like that, but one of the things I saw online that I was like, this is like really helpful. I think that for this content creator, I think they called it Scary Hour or something like that, where it's like 1 hour where you do all of the things that you don't want to do and you try and do as many as possible. So it's like gamifying this task, and it can even just be like you only do one thing, but it's this hour window where you do this and then you get it over with. So that I've found to be like helpful. And the other part that is less helpful for me now, because POTS definitely gets in the way, and you have a kid, so I don't know how helpful this would be for you, but like I would book a workout class or something early in the morning when I had other tasks I know I needed to do. And so I would be able to do like essentially like, if I think of it like a sim, going to one location, and then all the other locations that I need to go are close by for that before I come home. So essentially like stacking tasks of being like, I want to go work out. There's something I want to do. I'm going to pick a workout class that's near the pharmacy where I have to go pick up medication. I'm going to do it by the grocery store that I don't want to go to, but they are the only ones who have like X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to do this. So I'm stacking all of those things on top of each other. Yeah, I think like it's just about what you want. Because a diagnosis can be validating, but like if you're having a hard time coping, a diagnosis doesn't help you cope, like those are strategies and skills you need that come from something else besides that. And again, if it's not medication, you'll be able to work on coping strategies without a official diagnosis.
Yeah, I don't have ADHD. Well, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I do have characteristics that if I were to go to the doctor, I think I could be diagnosed with ADHD. But I do, as far as like remembering things, I write down every single thing that I have to do every single day. At the beginning of the week, I write down my plan. I plan out every hour of my day for the whole week. And then after that, as I'm working through, I'll adjust and rearrange things. But as long as I have everything down on paper, and I usually don't get to a lot of it anyway, but as long as I have it down, then like I know that I have a goal for the day. And so that helps me a lot. I constantly checking things off, constantly reviewing my list. Also, as like remembering to do things all that help like with me focusing. I drink this coffee that allegedly helps. The man that created it has ADHD. And so like,
is this your mushroom one?
Yes, the mushroom coffee, that's called.
It sounds like a drug, doesn't it?
Everyday dose.
It does.
And the man, like I said, the man created it has ADHD, and he created it for himself to help himself focus. And his whole story is on the website and on the back of the package. But that helps me focus when I am getting off kilter. It might be, it might not actually work, but for me, I love a placebo.
Oh, I live for a placebo. I love a psychosomatic effect.
Right. If I'm getting done what I was achieving, was it actually a placebo?
No, it just turns out that's what I would like to consider biohacking. Hack your brain.
And that's pretty much what I'll take. There's plenty of supplements that say that they help with brain things. Most of them, they probably do help, but they hurt my brain. So I literally get headaches from most of those neuropathogen medications. So, and that's also like, I don't want to be on a stimulant because with coffee, I'm very sensitive to it. And so I can be up for days on it. And in a perfect world, I would love to do that.
Oh, yeah, because
but
we hate
it gets to the point where I can't concentrate at all.
Yeah, again, that's the thing. Some people that is like not a medication that works for them. And like, that's why there's so many different like alternatives that are medication or not medication for this. And I would also say too, go to your regular doctor and get just tested, get a blood test, get like a regular workup and like talk to them about it, because it can also just be something like a combination of like, oh, you have really low iron and really low B12 and like you're having a really hard time concentrating because like you have deficiencies in X, Y, and Z for that. And that can, whether it like fixes it or it can just like exacerbate those symptoms in itself. That there's so many factors and so many different things that you can do, but it's not a waste of time if it is leading you to a goal. I would really make sure if medication is your goal, that can't be your only goal, because like it might not work for you, because it gives a lot of people can feel really anxious, or a lot of people cannot work with like other medications that they take. So yeah, but don't feel like an imposter. There's no point. It doesn't achieve. It doesn't help. Yeah. It doesn't help you or anyone.
And a lot of women get diagnosed early, like later in life, like 40s, 50s get diagnosed. Yes. So I don't like age shouldn't be a factor in this. No.
And like, again, like if you were a young boy, you might not even had ADHD and they would have diagnosed you with it. So like the concept that like someone would have noticed it sooner is truly not the experience for the vast majority of women with ADHD.
Yep.
So
pretty sure my mom has it.
Yeah.
I've told her she thinks she does. And I wouldn't even thought about it until like, because Meghan talked openly about it. And I was like,
well, your mom's
and she is a high achieving, has multiple degrees, but like
she can't sit still.
She can't sit still and she gets distracted a lot. And I was like, ask her doctor. And she's like, I want to ask my doctor. And I'm like, okay, well, like, do it. But she just doesn't do it.
Yeah, but there's so many different kinds of that. And like, I will acknowledge that like mine, without a doubt, has been like, I wouldn't say it's been like the easiest, because like part of me, I'm like, damn, it would be really nice to be like incredibly academically gifted. And like people are like, oh my God, there's no way you, like no one was surprised at all. Everyone was like, fucking finally. Like I was deeply underestimated always. But there's something like I didn't have to deal with that couldn't possibly, I mean, I got that from, certain people in my family when they were like, you don't need medication. You've read a book before. You can't have ADHD. You've read a whole book. And I was like, well, I'm literate. That's not the same thing. So, okay. But yeah, most people have this experience. So best of luck.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
My weekend was very indoor. Because of...
Except for when you were in your garden.
Well, when we were in our garden with our giant fucking respirator masks because of
the fire.
The fire, which is not close to us, but the wind patterns are just crazy. So there was a huge chemical fire. By the way, as of this morning, it is officially out, even though it has been burning for a week since yesterday.
Yeah.
A chemical fire in LA, and it's at a warehouse that's had multiple fires before, but because it's a chemical fire, they can't go inside. They can't like fight it from the inside.
It's refrigerant, so like that stuff is highly flammable.
There was ammonia all in the air. It was like this thick plume of black smoke. So there was like no fucking sun for days. And the whole weekend, the air was so bad. It smelled, we have our air purifier on. We have all of the windows shut, all of the doors shut. I woke up smelling like the inside of a pellet grill. Like I smelled like a barbecue. It was crazy. So, we did like some of the work on, was it Saturday, I think? And then the air was just like way too fucking bad. And then Sunday it got a little bit better. And so that's when we were able to do it. But yeah, we made planter box covers. We finished one completely. We just need to like adhere it. We need to like nail it in a little bit better. And then we have to finish building the second one. But
oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I got the plans on Etsy, and it's like going well, and the things are looking good, and I'm feeling happy about it, because all I want is for my plants to survive, and I want to like grow so many things. And I feel like once I got these under control, then I can like have like other random pots of things and whatever. I want to put corn in a random pot. I also want to grow pumpkins and do all that.
Well, pumpkins take over everything.
Yeah, I would do that on the ground somewhere.
Yeah.
I want to do, I've seen people do a pumpkin trellis though, and I was like, that sounds so fun, but it sounds a little bit heavy.
Ty once grew one in a toilet.
What? As like a pot?
Yep.
Okay. Not like when people like would get like things from Lush and they had like too much natural ingredients and so they'd actually grow plants in their sinks.
No.
Okay.
No. It was planned, but it's something that people do.
Oh.
I was unaware.
I'm unfamiliar with those people.
But after he did this, I've seen it was like one of those things where once you know about it, you start seeing it a lot of places, and that's what happened. He's also from Florida, so
anything fucking goes.
Yeah.
I feel like toilet planting is like certainly like a staple in Florida culture. Florida culture.
Florida culture.
Exactly. But yeah, that was like really my weekend. I did a lot of cleaning. We're having a cleaning service come on Saturday, and I'm so excited.
Let me know how it goes, because I need to like do one good clean of my. That's what we've been doing. That pre-clean. And I just haven't had time to do it. But now I'm getting like advertisements on Instagram. They read my mind. I haven't even looked into a cleaning service, but they're like, there's no need to pre-clean when we come. I'm like, no,
I have shame.
I have things that I don't want you to see.
And I have shame.
Right.
And like, I also care about your time and energy and like, I'm going to fix these things. But I've also just been watching so much Love Island. This is the first time in my life that I'm watching US and UK at the same time. Like,
you're feeling like me with my soap operas?
I have to. There is a girl on UK. Her name is Jasmine. She's so beautiful. She loves to yell at men, and all of the men hate it. And they're always like, you're really off-putting. They're just like, really like, all of the men also, I think, have toupees. Most of them, at least two of them. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm calling it Toupee Island. And they're like very, very defensive and feeling like very emasculated by her putting them in their place. And then there's this one guy, Lorenzo, who is, well, I like to say, a hot, dumb idiot. On the first conversation with Jasmine, he referred to her as promiscuous. And she said, what the fuck did you just call me? And he said, I think I am using that word wrong because your reaction makes it sound like that's not a good thing. And she goes, no. And I think he meant to say like particular or like.
Or precocious.
I don't think he knows that big of a word.
But that's the thing. He doesn't know it. He might like it might be in his brain somewhere, but he doesn't know how to say it.
Or it was like passionate. It was something like he like fucked up and was like, oh shit, sorry. Like my bad. So all the other guys get so like, they will literally tell her, even if they're on a couple with her, like, I found like your behavior really off-putting. Like, I just think you're really abrasive and off-putting. And then you have this guy who goes, kind of liked it. I kind of liked it when you yelled at me earlier. And I'm like, this is, and they're not even in a couple together, but it's like everybody wants them to get back together because they were at the very beginning. But Mott's just found out that she dated like one of the most famous soccer players ever.
Wouldn't know who it is.
So I asked
David Beckham or Messi. I don't know.
That's what I said. And I was like, well, could you give me a comparison? And he was like, okay. So on a previous season, there was a girl, Gemma Owen. And Gemma Owen's dad is like, I don't even fucking remember his first name. Michael Owen, I think. And when we found out that season that was what was going on, Monch was like, this man is like, it was Michael Owen and David Beckham. Like, they are just as famous. Like, they're both just as like, he is like the number one soccer player. Like, he's better than David Beckham. Like, he is so famous, so huge. And so I was like, okay, so in comparison to Michael Owen, he goes, if Michael Owen is Tom Brady, then Jasmine's ex-boyfriend is, and I was like who? Like Jalen Hurts? And he goes, exactly. And I said, oh my God, go Jasmine. Like, he's like a fashion icon. He's gorgeous. He's so popular. He's so cool. And now she's on Love Island and she's the coolest girl in the world. And it's such a breath of fresh air because most of the people on USA Love Island, these men, Melissa, have turned evil. They've become so scary to the point where now I'm also convinced they're talking such a big game. I think they're all virgins. I think none of them have had sex, but I've been enjoying it. And I would recommend anybody who is watching USA Love Island to also supplement it. Take a dose of UK Love Island as well, because it really helps balance it out a lot.
Many people have written into me and said, we wish you were watching Love Island because we think that you would have a completely opposite reaction than what Meghan is having or opinion.
Who?
I don't know, but one of them was Coco, so I feel like that she actually like knows me. So
wait, Coco, are you one of the people online defending Casey? I need to know. There's no way. I can't picture that. Because
we'll have a Coco's corner.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I need to know. Because, by the way, Coco, I am no longer defending Casey whatsoever. My issue was, and I said from the beginning, I know that my opinion was without a doubt being colored by the fact that I find him incredibly attractive. Like, I knew I was not being objective because he's very hot. So I was like, I hope he's not evil. But by the way, if he is, I would probably let him be evil to me because this man is so hot. But, you know, I now I'm like, okay, no, I get it. But the issue is he's still just as hot. But now he's not nice.
There's a lot of hot people that exist, but then their personality makes them not hot.
Yeah. His personality is currently making him not hot. And also his personality right now is kind of making me think he's actually never had sex once in his life. That I'm like, oh, have you kissed a girl before? It's giving, we're like very much, we're presenting what feels like an image of fuckboy. He has been cast as the role of man who fucks. Not the man. He's and it's not method acting. You know? He was like, I really love to get, like, I'm like all about like talking about like a big game of sex, and it's like, oh, what do you like to do? And he's like, oh, I don't like nothing crazy. And I was like, oh, wait, so what was that whole like I just need someone sexual, all of that? And she was like, oh, so like, do you like to do toys? He goes, no. She was like whipped cream. He's like, for sure, definitely done whipped cream. And I was like, oh my God, so wait, what were you, when you were giving this whole, like, no, it's really important to me to have someone, and he being so vague, and then she's giving you options, you're like, no. And I'm like, wait, can you let us know what you've been doing? What? But, yeah, so that's been really my life. And I do have an update or it's not an update. Remember how I told you about the hot girl Reed trademark girl?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out someone has also trademarked hot girl walks. And this girl is so incredibly litigious that she will take people down for posting an Instagram caption saying, like, on my hot girl walk. Like, will do anything. She apparently reached someone who had a Spotify playlist, like, where she doesn't even have these trademarks. And her defense video is, I would love to just recommend to everybody on the, like, just to watch it. I think it will go down in history of one of, like, the greatest internet videos ever, where she, and I am not exaggerating, makes a video defending this by insinuating that she invented walking. She goes, walking wasn't popular. Like, people didn't want to walk. Like, nobody was walking for exercise. Like, walking was one of those things that, like, you didn't want to do. And, like, I was able to, like, harness a movement to, like, popularize walking.
I can't, Megan.
Melissa, it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. What did you think we were doing? But I know for a fact I was definitely walking on my hands and my knees before she came around. I didn't know we could walk. I didn't even know I had hind legs. Like, what the fuck? Meg Thee Stallion, she needs to come in and be like,
I literally was thinking that. Stop. I was like, Megan Thee Stallion just needs to say, I invented hot girl, which she didn't, but I think she has enough.
Mm-hmm.
She has enough of herself out there to say that and then knock this girl down.
Yep.
And then just, like, doesn't care about anything else after that.
Because this girl is currently...
in the same way that Paris Hilton trademarked that's hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, this girl's currently suing Fashion Nova for, like, you saying, like, hot girl walk on, like, one of their advertisements. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you did not invent
so much
this.
money.
Yeah, so...
somebody's going to bankrupt her.
Well, I think from what I've read, and this is total rumor, both her boyfriend, her brother, and her dad are all lawyers. And so it doesn't even sound like she's paying a lawyer. It sounds like got a family lawyer. Because it's also been, like, a massive overreach of the actual trademark. Like, she doesn't have it trademarked. Like, an Instagram caption is not what she has trademarked. So, like, it's a lot of, like, fear tactics and all that. But now all this really makes me want to do is, like, I gotta trademark something. Like, everybody seems to be doing it.
This one person.
Yeah. But it really all seems to be trademarking this specifically.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to get into an update.
Picture this. Me, Reese Witherspoon, in London, ordering fish and chips so often they might start wrapping me in paper. I'm traveling with my Wells Fargo autographed Journey card, so I earn rewards wherever I book travel. 5 times points with hotels, 4 times with airlines, 3 times on restaurants and other travel, and 1 point on other purchases. Imagine getting rewarded for eating a toad in the hole. Wait, what is a toad in a hole?
Visit wellsfargo.com/autograph journey. Terms apply.
33 days, 33 episodes, no off switch. From the goals and the glory to the politics and the problems of the World Cup. If you want soccer analysis from a podcast that's been overanalyzing the game for more than 20 years, then this is it. Join me, Max Rushton, and our expert team of soccer journalists every day of the tournament. Can England end 60 years of hurt, or will this be another year of falling just short? Probably. World Cup Daily. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or watch full episodes on YouTube.
Suffering from dry, tired, irritated eyes? Don't let dry eyes win. Use Systane Pro. It hydrates, restores, and protects dry eyes for up to 12 hours. Systane Pro. Triple action dry eye relief.
We're back. Hope you are both well. I just tagged Meghan in a TikTok of someone wearing a Who Ate All the Pussy sweatshirt, which, by the way, they did. Thank you so much. The TikTok was of someone who's like, remind me never to ask one of my gay friends to, like, if I can borrow a sweatshirt when we're all out, because this is what they hand me. And I was like, iconic. I loved it. I loved seeing it. So this reminded me that I actually have an update to the saga almost a year later.
So this person found a dead bird.
Wait, what?
Do you remember this person? There's a dead bird on their doorstep.
Wait, why did I think I dreamt this? Like, the way you're talking about this, I go, I remember this, but I don't remember this being a call on the podcast.
Yeah.
And wasn't like a guy who left?
I'm relatively inexperienced in the adult dating world, and I didn't know how or when to have the talk with the guy I've been dating for about a month and a half, 2 months. I really appreciate your guys' advice and decided to talk to him. So we were giving this. They initially gave us an update. I don't have their original call. Sorry, you didn't share it with us, but this is an update to that call. And then now they're currently writing in with another update, but I'm going to read the update to the last one just so that we have the context. I said I wanted to define the relationship, and he said he didn't think it was fair to either of us to commit to anything given his visa would be expiring within a few months, and he was basically in limbo trying to find a job that would be able to sponsor him, with the very real possibility he would have to move away by the end of the summer. But that also, if his visa/job status wasn't a problem, then he'd want to be in a relationship with me. I told him I might need to take a step back and thought we ended the conversation on a good note. But then literally on my drive home, he was texting me trying to make plans. It just left me feeling really confused and like we were trying to talk past each other, which led to a drawn-out conversation over text for the next week until we finally settled in a place of let's just keep going as is and figure it out as we go. Or so I thought, because we ended up continuing to talk like normal for the next month, but didn't see each other in person until he finally just stopped responding literally mid-conversation. And of course, we had been talking about how there was a dead bird on my doorstep. I accepted that I'd been ghosted, although a few weeks later, after finding multiple more dead birds outside my apartment, I did send him this because I found it really entertaining, which was they looked up on WikiHow what finding dead birds at your doorstep meant. And on WikiHow, it said you're experiencing the end of a relationship. If you see a dead bird in the middle of a tumultuous time with a partner, friend, or family member, it's a sign that the relationship has passed the point of no return.
I love symbolism.
It's not, at this point, it's not even like, it's just facts
just
because
narrating.
It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so here's their update to that. And that was from...
almost a year later, they say.
Yeah. They wrote in March 20th, 2020. No, their original call was March 20th. They updated us October 20th of 2025.
Okay. Which reminded me that I actually have an update to the saga almost a year later. Not gonna lie, I never thought this would happen. Basically, my bestie who saw me through this whole saga the first time is doing an internship halfway across the country. I'm in Austin, she's in Boston. And she sits outside the Whole Foods across from her apartment one day last week to call some friends, and guess who she sees walking into the store? The motherfucker who ghosted me. They made eye contact, but she couldn't remember his name, so she just asked, "So you didn't leave the country?" And he ignored her, but she thinks he recognized her, LOL. I suggested we come up with ways for her to haunt him, maybe involving dead birds. I've been cackling to myself about this ever since because what are the odds? And I figured it was worth updating because 1, he didn't get deported, and 2, he ended up in the city I guessed he would. Love y'all.
Yeah, because we're being sensitive to the information because people are getting deported all the time. And we were like, maybe he did get deported. We don't know.
I also don't think we knew where you were. And like in California, like that, it's like massive deportations are happening across the country. But we're obviously colored by our experience here.
Yeah, but being in Texas, same
that
thing
makes
too.
Total sense.
So, yeah, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I was like, maybe he left the country or maybe he just ghosted you. And you had said something like he was still like you thought you could see something on his dating profile that he was still in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in like we can give men the benefit of the doubt, but you can never tell them that. You can never tell them that you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. You can never do it to their face. Like it needs to be something you do in private and secret, and it needs to be temporary until you figure out the rest of it. And so like I'm not shocked. I'm obviously relieved he was not deported, but I'm also not surprised that a man is a liar, an asshole, and like moves as a means of ghosting. Like it's just like so over the top, so deeply over the top.
And I guess you got a new job too.
I have to say though, you've got a really great friend there because I love someone who is bitchy and can think on their feet. Like the fact that she didn't just text you, she said something to this man. That is the bar.
Didn't remember his name.
No,
but it's like, I know
that's not going to stop
face.
me. I'm not. That's not going to stop me.
I know that face. I'm in Boston, sitting outside of Whole Foods.
Yep.
Probably eating out of a carton.
Yeah.
Drinking a cold brew out of a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm picturing. And you're like, hey, you didn't get deported?
I'm sorry. This is looking quite domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Like, and I love that she didn't need the confirmation of anything. She just said, no, I'm going to say it. And if I'm wrong, I don't think I'm wrong.
Yep.
So you've got a really great friend there. So that's like I would say the biggest positive in all of this is men suck, but the friends are great. So.
And I'm glad you had that particular friend to help you talk through. It's very, very cinematic in a way.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing worse than like the worst possible friend who could like be seeing your ex and you're like, no, like you have all, like you're not going to do anything. You're not going to say anything. You're going to be overly polite and like you're maybe going to like be like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. And you're like, no, you're ruining you're ruining the vibe I've been trying to give across, which is like aloof and angry.
Yep.
Don't be polite. So yeah, I hope this helps you feel vindicated too. And fuck this man.
All right, well, that's our episode.
Hell yeah.
Join us on Thursday on But Am I Watching, where we will be discussing Hunting Wives.
We will be.
And then we'll be back on Monday for a new episode of Don't Blame Me. And then we're getting close to our summer vacay.
Hell yeah, baby.
All right. Bye.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.